Minister of State for Education, and concerned officials at the Ministry and other institutions for completing the process of policy making. Dr. Kasturi Rangan and his team, who prepared the policy, deserve a special commendation. The National Education Policy aims to reorient our education system towards meeting the needs of the 21st century. It sets the vision of developing an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing quality education to all. This calls for achieving the twin objectives of inclusion and excellence. Being at the top of the education pyramid, the institutions of higher education have the greater responsibility of making India a global knowledge superpower. As we all know, coordination and determination of standards for higher education institutions, including scientific and technical institutions, are covered in the Union List of Constitution. However, the role of the Centre should not be limited to setting norms through agencies like the University Grants Commission or the proposed Higher Education Commission of India. There should be clear focus on quality. Higher education institutions under the Centre should set quality benchmarks through their outcomes for all other universities and institutions. The fundamental principles of the policy include creativity and critical thinking in order to encourage logical decision making and innovation. The policy also highlights that teachers and faculty are the heart of the learning process. Here, let me recall Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita as a great teacher who guides his disciple Arjun through a two-way dialogue between them. Every chapter of the Gita is described as Krishna Arjun Samvad, which means the dialogue between Krishna and Arjun. Let us think of the Gita as an example in the art of teaching or pedagogy. In the beginning, Arjun tells Krishna, Sisyaste aham shadimam, which means, I am your disciple, help me through your guidance. Krishna's response to Arjun is marked by affectionate and patient hearing, patient answers and clarifications. In the end, after guiding Arjun out of web of doubts, Krishna asks him, could you listen with concentration to what I told you? Is your ignorance born doubt cleared? Towards the end of the dialogue, after explaining the various paths available to Arjun, Krishna tells him, Yatha yakshasi tatha kuru, do as you like. Thus, the teacher provides different solutions and also gives the freedom of choice to the disciple. In between, Arjun asks nearly 20 questions. In terms of psychology, the dialogue between the teacher Krishna and the disciple Arjun in the Gita has both intellectual and emotional elements. Every free communication between a teacher and his student will have both the elements. Our teachers need to avoid one-way lectures and encourage the students to engage in free discussions with them. Dear participants, the policy also seeks to discourage rote learning and overemphasis on marks or grades. It seeks to encourage critical thinking and a spirit of inquiry. In our tradition, jigyasa our curiosity for learning was encouraged. It was given greater importance than jigisa or the wish to win a debate or argument. Universities and institutes of higher education should be centers of innovation. They should provide innovative solutions to national and local problems. Community participation and use of local resources should be encouraged for providing solutions to local problems. Higher education institutions should utilize national missions like Swachh Bharat, Skill India, Make in India, and Atmanirbhar Bharat as opportunities to promote solution-oriented learning. India was a globally respected education hub in ancient times. Universities at Takshashila and Nalanda had iconic status. But today, India's higher education institutions do not get high positions in global rankings. Effective implementation of the NEP 2020 is likely to restore India's glory as a great center of learning. For promoting holistic and multidisciplinary education, flexible and innovative courses need to be developed. Besides imparting knowledge and hard skills, a truly holistic approach also inculcates among students values and soft skills. The policy recommends inclusion of courses and projects covering universal values of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prem, Ahimsa, Seva, scientific temper, and life skills. Dear participants, on the theme of values, let me mention a case study developed by the Harvard Business School, which highlights the strength of the Indian ethos. Some of you may be aware of the study, others also may like to read it. During the terror attack on Mumbai in 2008, known as 26/11, an extraordinary fact was observed at the Taj Hotel, Mumbai. According to psychologists, in the time of a terror attack, the normal response of likely victims is to run away. At the time of the attack at the hotel, about 1,100 guests and 600 employees were present. The hotel staff knew all possible exit routes, yet not a single member of the staff left the hotel. As many as 11 employees laid down their lives while saving the guests. This was 1/3 of the total casualties in the hotel. The faculty which studied the incident discussed a number of possible reasons behind this extraordinary response by the hotel staff. Among other things, they found that the Taj Group prefers to recruit employees from the smaller towns of India because that is where traditional Indian values are still strong.